Hi everybody, thanks for joining me for my 6th card class in the mail. I'm so glad all of you are appreciating my card classes in the mail and subscribing to them. It's a great way to stay engaged with Stampin' Up! And with each other and make some fun projects as you go. So I'm going to point the camera down and around and show you the cards that were included in the 6th card class in the mail and show you some tips and tricks on how to put them together. Okay, so first of all, these are the 3 cards that were included in the kit. That lovely Wild Rose stamp set. And there's this one here that features the new Designer Series paper called Forever Greenery. Very pretty Designer Series paper with all kinds of different leaves and greenery. And then we have this card here that features the new, what is this called? World of Good Specialty Designer Series paper. This is a great card to show you all the different paper that's in that pack. These are some of the reverse sides and this the specialty paper that has the gold or the copper embossing on it. It's very pretty. Okay, so let's get started with the card kit. So you will receive these envelopes in your card kit. Let's see what's in the first one. Okay, so this is this one here. So I've already punched out all of the pieces, and you have actually a few extras because I gave you full punches for these two when in fact they're actually cut in half and used, so you only need one and I gave you 2, just so you'd have a little bit more variety. So you're going to start with your Crumb Cake Designer Series, Crumb Cake cardstock, and then you're going to attach your Early Espresso cardstock. This is a great technique to use up your Designer Series paper. You don't need whole sheets. You can just use the pieces that are big enough to do your punches with. And you can actually do it with different types of punches as well. Just as long as they have kind of a geometric shape, I think works best. And then you're going to put that aside, and we're just going to work with the Crumb Cake cardstock. So if you want to make your card exactly like this one, you're going to find the corresponding Designer Series paper. So that one goes here, and like I said, I just cut that one in half. I'm going to use that side there and this side down here. And then you want to take this one and put it here. And I would go ahead and lay these all out before you actually start gluing, just so that you make sure that all your little margin areas are exactly how you want them. Goes there. This way you can kind of scoot them closer together if you want to make sure that you're getting right to the edges. And then you have this one here is going to go right there. Again, going to cut that in half. So let's see, this one goes here. And again, you can do this any way that you want to create the design. And then this, the opposite of this one, goes down here. So this was the half one that I cut off. Okay, so then you just go ahead and glue all of those in place. I'm not going to take the time to do all that. You don't need to watch me gluing all of that. So that just gets all glued together and put right on top like so. So I did want to take a few minutes to talk about these little punch out pieces that I used for the words. This is using a great new punch from Stampin' Up. Let me see if I can find exactly where it is in the catalog. It's such a versatile punch. You're going to be seeing me use it a lot. I'm always looking for a quick way to make a punch strip to do words. So this is called the Lovely You Lovely Labels Punch, Pick a Punch. And it actually allows you to cut or punch 6 different labels using these channels. and then you get two different types of punches. So what I wanted to show you is we've had punches like this before with the channels, and all you do is put your stamped image in the channel like so, and then you want to rotate it and make sure it's lined up exactly how you want it. Sometimes you have to move it over a little bit just to make sure it's centered. Okay, so I'm just going to punch that, and I want to make sure that I save this little punch out piece. The reason is I don't want to go ahead and punch this right at this edge, because then you're going to have all this extra space. And I don't want to get it too close, because then it's going to cut into the words. So what I want to do is just take that punched out piece, lay it right on to my card stock like that, about with the same margin as I have over here. And then what I'm going to do is take my scissors and just cut that right there. And now when I put this back into the punch, it's going to cut out right where I want it to punch. So let me go ahead and do that. Again, I'm putting it through the channel, turning it over, making sure it's centered right where I want it to be, and then punching. So now you can see I have pretty much the same margin over here as I do over here. Okay, so I wanted to show you that trick because it really is a great punch, and the more you use it and learn some of those tricks, the more you're going to love it. Okay, so back to our card. I also used some of this new faux suede trim. So I didn't know what to expect from this in the catalog. When I hear suede, I think it's kind of rough and hard to work with, but this is really pretty trim. It has a really nice little texture to it, and it will tie nicely as well. So what I did was I just used a little bit of it to add a little bit of texture right along this edge here. So I stamped my happy birthday, took the little edge pieces of the trim and wrapped it around and taped it or glued it in place like so. So you're going to do that on both ends and then attach that to the other layer that I have in the card kit. So it'll be layered like that with the suede trim over the top. So I think the suede trim is actually large enough to go around the whole bundle if you want, or you can just wrap it around the crumb cake piece. Okay, let's see, and then on the inside I stamped in crumb cake one of the world pieces from the coordinating stamp set, and then stamped the image on top of that with a darker early espresso. I love that technique, just to add a little bit of image on the inside of your card as well as the sentiment. Okay, so that's the first card. It's a great masculine card, and it's so hard to make masculine cards sometimes, so it's a fun way to use up your designer series paper as well as getting a masculine card made. Okay, what's the next packet? Okay, this one is this card here. So what you might not be able to tell is that I embossed this, the pink cardstock. Keep forgetting, is that pretty in pink? Can't remember. The pink cardstock, and then this pair of pizzazz. So I embossed those with this new embossing folder. It's kind of hard to see what it does, but it's called the Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder, and it just gives the paper a nice texture to it. So if you received the card kit in the mail, you'll be able to see that in person, but I think the camera kind of picks that up. It's just a very subtle embossing, but it's a little bit nicer than just having a plain piece of paper. Okay, so you'll have two pieces of white cardstock. One just goes straight away on the front of your card. So hopefully you can put together your cards while you're watching me do it. It's always fun to just get them done while I'm doing the video. And then you're going to take the pink piece of cardstock. That textured die, you can actually use it either way. So on either side, Both of them have a really nice texture. So it's up to you which way you want to put that. That goes on like so. And then Pretty Peacock shows up again. You know, I didn't really use Pretty Peacock much before, but it's really a pretty color. And it's showing up in a lot of the Designer Series paper right now, so I think you'll be seeing me use it a lot more. Kind of offsets those paler pinks and stuff. And then you have this pretty Designer Series paper. You could use either side. Both of them are very pretty. I'm going to opt with the one that has more white on it. Go on like so. It's a really pretty card. It's just all about layering. So this die cut is actually from the Wild Rose stamp set. Gorgeous bundle. Actually, I don't think it's a bundle anymore. You can buy them separately though. But this is the stamp set. It's got some great words in it, and you have that triple layer stamping that you can do. Such a pretty stamp set. And then you have these great dies that obviously cut out the flowers, but it also has this really nice open label die that is so useful. So many great functions for that. And then of course the leaves that you can use for anything. This little border die is really pretty too. It just gives you a nice border that you can lay on top of your card. So that is To a Wild Rose. Okay, so then these leaves will go on wherever you want. And then, of course, I can't stamp your image for you, but I just included a piece of white cardstock so you can stamp whatever image you want and put that right on top. And then on the inside, I just have, of course, you would just stamp whatever words you want, as well as the leaves or some other flower on the inside to decorate that. Okay, so that is the second card. And then we have this one, again with Pretty Peacock, and the fun Designer Series paper layout. So just to remind you, that is this card here. And what we're going to do is put your card base aside and just focus on this Designer Series paper part right now. Okay, so what you should have are two triangles that both have a right angle. So you want to look for those right angles to lay right on the top of your card. You don't want to attach those just yet though, because you want to add the Pretty Peacock border. That really makes a difference to just kind of pop everything out, just these little strips. So that is what these little strips are for. So what you're going to do is just take your glue and put a fine little layer of glue. You could use tape if you wanted to, just along the edge there. And then you're going to take your Pretty Peacock strips and put that right down like that. And then in order to get them in the envelope, I had to cut them. So, but you can make it work with two pieces. You're just going to butt them up right next to each other like that. Okay, and then going to cut this off just so you have a nice clean edge there. And then you'll do the same thing with this piece. Put a little layer of glue down. And then put this right up onto that Pretty Peacock to create your little border. It should fit just right, like so. And then you're going to cut off the extra little piece. Okay, so that's going to lay down like so. I'm just going to glue that in place. So the stamp set that I used is Butterfly Wishes, and it does have a coordinating punch. So I just stamped the butterflies and punched those out, and it just makes a really quick and pretty card with a different type of design to use your designer series paper. I think it's one of those cards that you kind of look at and you're like, how did she do that? Just kind of a different type of layout. And I think I'll be doing a lot more in the future because I really like it, and it's a great way to use that pretty designer series paper. Okay, so then we have a white die cut that's in the card kit that's going to be stamped. And then, like I said, I stamped and punched the 3 butterflies, and then on the inside I stamped and to decorate the inside. And those stamps are all from the Butterfly Wishes. So everything on here was Butterfly Wishes for the stamps. Okay, so then that gets attached to your Pretty Peacock card base. And then you'll have an extra white piece in your packet. That's for cutting out the butterflies. And then the larger white piece is for the inside of your card. Okay. So those are all 3 of the cards that are in the 6th card class in the mail. I hope you enjoyed those and learned something new from the class. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to answer them. And I hope you stay safe and have a great day. Thanks. Bye.